Alright guys, it's Chris Maswick coming at you with another video. I'm sorry we've been on such a long hiatus. Just trying to get things back in the swing. So we're going to start off with a deck that's been annoying everyone at my locals and on Skype. And if you know this deck, feel free to chime in your comments and hate on it. But it is an Omega Glendios deck, so of course our starter is Starvader Worldline Dragon. It should be pretty like no-brainer why we have him in the deck, of all things. Because before you even ride, you can choose to discard a reverse unit from your hand and check the top 5 cards to add any Link Joker card to your hand. Which is pretty nifty because it can search out your perfect cards if you get really lucky. Next up, we run 4, 8, 12 critical. Just because, you know, once again, this deck is not the most aggressive thing in the world, but at the same time, you'll want to be able to pressure your opponent if you have to, because this deck can lose its momentum without it. And finally, for our final set of triggers, we have 4 draws. I choose not to run any heals in the deck, namely because when pulling off Omega Glendios' skill, it has backfired on me more than once. So just for anyone who is going to ask that as their very first question, what, no heals? Of course not, because I've healed out of, you know, being able to hit into World's End, and it sucks. Next up, we got our grade 1s. I have 4 perfect shields. I just use the ones from the trial deck. Since they can guard anything, it's not a bad one to have. I have 2 engraving Starvader Prostedium. For each reverse unit I have on the field when he's played, I can unflip a point of damage. So pretty awesome. Or to use the new term, I can countercharge, I believe it is, but correct me if I'm wrong, please. Also, we have one of the newer cards, which I actually like a lot in the deck. Sword Draw Starvader Vorium. Anytime he boosts a Starvader that successfully hits, you can check the top 5 cards of your deck. It can add a reverse card into your hand. What I like about him is if you combo him with, of course, Hollow Magnet, you can decide the priority of the skills you want. Me personally, I'd use Vorium first, because since the cards get stacked to the bottom, you then tag in with Hollow Magnet and get to shuffle it, so that way, you know, if you ended up shuffling triggers or a more useful unit that you're hoping to draw later, you can just have it shuffled and placed randomly somewhere in your deck. Hopefully closer to the top. Next up, of course, we have 3 Taboo Starvader Rubidium. Shouldn't really have to tell you what he does, but I will anyway. When you have a Vanguard named Glendios, you're able to throw that into the guard circle to redirect an attack to any reverse unit you have on the field. I personally really like this skill. It makes life and guarding a little bit easier for some of those, you know, high hitters. You only have to toss out a 5k and sack a grade 3. And of course, with it being Glendios, we have Starvader Rune Magician, which for each different reverse unit on your field, and I have to stress this to people because some people make misplays with it, you cannot have, let's say, 4 Cradles on the field and get 4 reverse units. You have to have 4 different ones to get 4 back, for example. You need Kyokaitis reverse, Lukier reverse, Dayusha reverse, and Cradle, and if you play her, you could then get 4 back from your drop. Next up, we got our grade 2s. I'm looking for something to replace this right now, but he's just in there to be in there. It's Cold Death Dragon. If my opponent already has a locked card on the field, I may counterblast 1 and place the top card of their deck as locked onto any open space on their field. So not the worst thing to happen. And finally, for our grade 2s, we have 4 Hollow Magnet, which if it hits a Vanguard, and I have a Vanguard with Starvader. Since it is a Vanguard rearguard skill, it is amazing. I basically hope to get 3 of these at some point. I sit on my grade 2 until I am ready to go into like all my Glendios shenanigans. It's beautiful and it helps rip every single reverse out of your deck, hopefully if it has not been damage checked already. Next up, our grade 3s are going to be a little hectic. For reverse units, we have Dauntless Dominant Reverse. None of these I really have to explain their skills because they are not relevant to this deck. We have Demon World Marquise Amon Reverse. We have Dayusha Reverse. Luquier Reverse. Kyokitis Reverse. Vowing Saber Reverse. Each of those are one-ofs in the deck. I chose the specific reverse units based around friends in my community. Believe it or not, it might sound a little cheesy, but hey, it's brought me luck so far with this deck. And of course we run 2 Reverse Cradle just to give me some more Link Joker grade 3 options. So if I don't immediately get into Glendios, I have something I can go into. And of course, we run 4 Glendios. With the combination of his Limit Break, where every time I call a reverse unit, I may lock one of your cards, as well as Counterblast 1 and pitch a reverse card to Omega Lock the field, it becomes a pretty awesome card. Especially with the new grade 1 they have coming out, which I may actually replace the grade 2 for, the Cray Elemental that makes an Ultimate Break into a Limit Break. So I'm interested to try that out and see how that's going to play with the deck. I hope it turns out well, because it would be awesome. Alright. Next up we are going to get into my extra deck, which is a pretty fun thing to do. Ooh, just let me get it all together here. Alright. We have 2 Maximum Sealed Dragon. It wasn't my first choice, but oddly enough, if I decide to go into something early game and I want to play and I want to pull off a bigger play, he's pretty fun to do. I don't like going into him very much. He's mostly used for my G-Assist fodder if I have to. I run 1 Heat Element Megum. Just have a Cray Elemental for this next card. Snow Element Blizza, which is really good if they somehow survive you out. And of course, the Piece de Resistance for Death Starvator Omega Loop Glendios. Counterblast 2, flip up a copy of itself. For each different, and I'm going to stress that again, different reverse unit on your field, you may take 1 card from the top of your opponent's deck and place it face down locked. Now special ruling with this card, if your opponent has open spaces on the field, those spaces must be filled first before anything else can be locked over. If the space is already occupied, it retires and replaces it. It's with a locked card. Which is great for hopefully screwing up fields, but much like Upheaval Pegasus, it could potentially give them a good field if they survive or find a way to unlock. But I haven't run into many cards that are like, I am going to mass unlock my field. So, comment down below, let me know any questions you have. I'd be more than happy to answer. Any criticism on, effects I may have done wrong, but I did all my research before doing this video. But please hit me up, subscribe, suggest to your friends, because when we hit 100 subscribers, we're actually going to do a special giveaway of a custom mat, which I will show later, because I'm currently designing it with one of my friends. So once we have the design down, I will be sending a video of that, and be like, this is the mat you can potentially win after we hit our 100th subscriber. But as always, keep it real, and always keep playing and have some fun. Alright, I'll see you guys later.